is out. I think there's some Michigan something or another, like 30 minutes after the open. I can't find it. If you guys got it somewhere, please give me a heads up. But let's take a look at SPY. Jay will be along soon. I'm not sure where Senor Lucero is at, but I'm sure he'll be along as well. And let's take a look at the SPY. So you get your SPY pulling back just a little bit on the numbers released. I think we got about a half an hour, like I said, for the other economic data to roll in. So look for that. Have it on your radar. If I take a look at SPX, make sure I'm typing on the right screen. So if you pay attention to gamma and or gamma flip areas, that's right here at around 45.40 as of right now. SPY is indicated to open lower. This is where this area here, this 45.60 area, if you open and start to roll over, look for bounce. If it doesn't bounce and gets through this area, there's potential that's where shit can get dangerous for you as a trader making a biased trade or a directional trade. Broadcom numbers yesterday, and it's been all over the place in the after hours and the pre. If you guys know, I took a little bit of a long on Broadcom, but I went out to January and I used a spread. So I paid $2 for a 990 by 1,000 spread. Why did I do that? Well, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. You had a period of expansion. You have a period of decline with just a tiny little bit of contraction. So you had good numbers. If they come after it, look left, you've got some decent market structure here where it has checked up how many times in the past? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It became resistance in all those prior areas. Currently, is it going to act as support? Don't know, but I took a little long here to find out. If there's anything that I can look at on shorter term basis, kind of the same thing with the chips. AMD has been going nuts. So I'm looking for other action in other semiconductors that have a little bit of exposure to it. So potentially NVIDIA today. Here's your AMD opening, indicated to open higher, dating back to this high in January of 23. That's a potential for it to keep moving up. Other semiconductors that you might want to keep an eye on. This one I'm keeping an eye on, Allegro, for a little bit longer term potential opportunity. Applied Materials has been solid for a long time. You can see a lot of these semis just trade in ranges. So the place, in my opinion, to trade them directionally is either when they start to peak out or when they start to hit their lows. SMCI, another potential opportunity. Take a look at the structure, look left. This is trading inside of a range. I would prefer to be a buyer down at that 225 level. You've got the 50 and the 200 rising to come up and meet price. That, to me, looks bullish, but if it were to break down, that's potentially a problem. Qualcomm, strong, and then moving into some of the other names. Jay, are you with us now?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So everybody out here is like, where are you guys at? They don't like it when I run this, when I start the stream off, Jay. They're a little whiny and a little persnickety.
Yeah. Well, I paid them off to be that way towards you.
That figures. You pay them with dog food. Pay them with dog food. So what's going on? Give us some color on the economic impact and what you're seeing early on here.
Yeah, not much. I don't see anything different than what we've been seeing. Nothing to change the dynamics at play going into the December OPEX. We have consumer sentiment. people are going to be looking towards the inflation side of those numbers at 10 o'clock. Maybe you get an outlier there, could loosen things up a bit, but and I don't see anything worth mentioning as far as overall and up at the index level. I think individual names you keep an eye on, especially laggards, but that's not for everybody. If you're an option player, especially day trading options, some of these aren't the most liquid names. Most of them don't have weeklies. It's not your time. And I think we were talking about this yesterday. Like there was a time where it was all about the mega caps and the indexes, and people like myself trading individual names were starving to death for action. Now it's kind of the opposite. Well, I wouldn't say the opposite, but it's a lot different. Where the indexes and some of the larger names, you got to really, really pick your spots right. And better risk reward has been towards the heavily shorted squeeze names.
Yep.
So,
I hear you.
You got to acknowledge that, whether you like it or not. And if it doesn't suit your style, you take a step up to the sidelines and wait it out.
Chill the fuck out.
Chill out. But if you can play individual names, especially if you're day trading the equity, what we've been talking about over the past week or so is you can manage your risk quite efficiently on some of these names, that the laggards that haven't moved. You get in, you put a stop, they move. You get lucky, you catch a nice squeeze. If they don't, you get scratched out, So on a risk reward net overall, it's worth playing if you can play the equity and take advantage of these names. So that's what I'm focused on today. But as far as the indexes and the mega caps and all that stuff, I think it's a lot more difficult.
True that. I was telling these guys earlier, I don't know if you heard, that I took a little Broadcom yesterday.
Yes.
Yep. So I've got, it's fine, it's flat, but what I'm looking at, because I got a little bit of time, what I like about it, what I think is interesting about it, is if I look left at this, this structure, it just like everything else keeps going through little periods of expansion, contraction, consolidate, expand, you know what I mean? Just back and forth. Yeah. That's normal. So if I look left, this area that used to be resistance is currently acting as support. So if it kind of hangs out here, I have a little time on this spread. Maybe I can catch a directional move back up to the highs. We'll see. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's spilt milk. It doesn't really matter. So it's fine. And then I'm looking at a lot of these other semis. To me, a lot of these other semis have went through that expansion. They kind of cooled off. They've gone through a little tiny period of contraction. So I'm curious to see if they come back and buy these today. I mean, a lot of them look set up for a little bit of a pop, or it could just be, a rainy day disappointment and not much at all happens. So it's, that's what we're trying to figure out. That's trading.
Yeah. And trading view, what do we got to do? We got to change the symbol for the futures, I guess. Will they adjust automatically, or I got to stare at a market that looks like it's up a gazillion points today?
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
If you, in other words, you got to change the symbol today on the futures because of the rollover.
Oh, I got you.
Otherwise, you're showing ES up 50 right now, which it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So do we have to do anything, or does it change it on its own? Anybody have an idea?
I thought that they changed on their own. I am used to, because I don't use the big contract like you do. So in the past.
What are you looking at, SPX?
Yeah, I'm just looking at SPX.
Yeah, maybe I'll just put SPX up here. That's what I'll do. Instead of ES.
Ace Fire is asking in the room, telling me Avgo big resistance at 930 from July. That's what I'm telling you. So I don't know if you're live or not. Look left on the chart. How many times have you been there, right? Forget your 930 number. Look at where this resistance has been, right? This call it 925. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then back here in November, you had a push above, and now it's coming back to test it, right? So don't get hung up on one number, not right. It's it's an area. You can't, you're not, if you get yourself so spun up on it needs to be this specific number, you're going to struggle because you're not going to know the exact number. Sometimes you'll get it right, or sometimes you'll be within a few pennies of something, which is awesome. But don't get hung up on one spot. Just look at it generally from a big picture. This prior has been an area of resistance. It came back down. It's tested. And the question now is this old area of resistance now support? We're going to find out, right? That's what's happening right now. So don't get stuck on 930 as your resistance. Look at it broadly and say, is this going to be an area for it to get some juice and go, right? Doesn't have to be today. Could happen next week. Could fail here. We don't know. That's why we're looking at it. Somebody also mentioning IWM. Silver's mentioning. Who put it up there? Somebody just put a IWM up there. But yeah, there's a lot. Jay, I think Goldman Sachs had some information out on how few buyers there are or long holders in IWM. And I keep typing in the wrong spot.
Oh yeah, that Goldman note yesterday. Yeah, they like IWM as even a short hedge. They think that's where you get your biggest bang for your buck on the option side if this rally continues.
Well, and that goes right back to your point about all these small underbelly bullshit names catching squeezes. That's where, like, if you don't want to go catch the individual name, this is where you kind of jump over to, right?
Yep.
And Silvers is making a good point. It's all over Twitter by IWM. So, maybe exercise some caution there as well, because when retail comes in, you don't have necessarily the best advantage. It's kind of like this data today, right? If you're a retail trader, individual trader, and you're trading a binary event, by and large, you don't have an advantage. It's better for you to wait things out and let the dust settle before you just huck your meat off the cliff. You got to understand and recognize when, as retail, you don't necessarily have an advantage. So you're either going to get, a day like today off the open right, or you're going to get it wrong. I would rather take a step back and wait and see what we get. But I wouldn't mind a little pull here and a bounce. So just keep your head on straight.
Keep your head on straight.
All right. Now that I've sucked all the air out of the room, Jay, go ahead. What do you got?
Oh, I got nothing. Anyhow, the market opens in a minute. So
I got a little Rivian long today. Well, not today. I'm holding equity from yesterday.
Rivian. Yes, that's a little light, right? After a little pull off the open.
Yeah. But still at an area where I'm okay being in it. So my buy on Rivian is down here at this 1870 level. And I would look for it now, today. If it breaks below that level, then I would look at trying to make a decision of whether I need to cut it or add to it. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so here's your drop on SPY. I'm going to mark some VWAPs here. Here's the VWAP. Get this on here from yesterday. Move this one to this day here. Okay, there's your dip and bounce. Okay, that almost came to yesterday's VWAP. Here's some AMD bulls right out of the gate. Small, bitty small, piker size.
AMD,
somebody in the room probably placed that trade.
AMD had some day yesterday.
Oh, yeah. NVIDIA, yeah, that's not a bad looking. You get through the 21 on the NVIDIA, this is where things can change. Let's see if this is, I think semis are a decent idea, but we'll see where we get to. Okay, that Avgo is up.
It's Friday, unbelievable. Citigroup, you got some rolling. Friday rolling.
Rolling with the homies.
You got some rolling in AMD as well. Friday expiration. Probably see some rolling out of the gate here.
So this Avgo has potential to have a nice day. And in the pre-market, I saw it down here at this 900 area. I mean, it was all over the place. And then they open it here and give it a rip. If it continues, that'd be nice.
You got some squeeze action in Paramount PARA. What do we got here? December and Jan calls in PARA.
Look at that thing. Silvers, you on this ALB? Let's check the Tesla. Tesla's been for me, has been a very difficult trade. Why? Because it's going through a period of what? Consolidation, which makes it a difficult trade. I like to trade Tesla when Tesla has direction. When Tesla has direction, we can make a lot of money. I have not traded Tesla in a while because of this. This is consolidating. You've got a bunch of these technical indicators starting to pinch on each other. We saw that happen back here where it was pinching in between the yearly anchors, and it's now above those and consolidating and starting to pinch. So which direction's going to go, right? You had 130 call lottos on ALB. Nice trade, Silvers. Cash that shit in. Roll it up. Yeah, Silvers, you got a shot to maybe get a little, you clear that area, then all of a sudden you're talking 145 area. You do have nice short-term technicals hanging around. I'm gonna blow that one out. Yeah, for sure. I don't think you can buy it here, Silvers. And if you look at your other indicators, your CCI, RSI, MACD, it's not telling you this is a low. It's telling you you're kind of somewhere already in here with this momentum. Target. Somebody calling out Target.
Minister Calvino says, I expect continuity in economic policy.
It's in a good spot. Also an area of resistance currently. CVNA is finally squeezing again. Let's see. Not quite yet. Right to the area where it wants to resist. If you can get through here, you have potential. So you can definitely try here. And if it doesn't work, you've already got a built-in area to say it's not working. What is this piece?
I thought that would have gone ages ago.
Okay, Rivian looks like it wants to get going. If we can break through this bigger picture area, this 0.5 fib, that would be nice. Then all of a sudden you're talking about people potentially a little bit of panic buying, but look left. This is an area where it potentially could resist. So if you get a move up to here, and you're in options, you consider rolling. If you're in equity, you consider cutting some. Maybe take the profit from a move up in equity and then maybe throw some of that profit at a lotto call option to the upside and try and ride it that way. Silver's 125 put on ALB. You have some of that too? Of course you do. You play both sides.
This a roll?
Somebody calling out. Jay, we were looking at oil yesterday. I'm somebody calling out CVX. I don't see any opportunity.
Oil bouncing this morning.
I don't see any opportunity there. I see range trading there. I would be careful about getting excited to one side or the other. Exxon's chart looks terrible. Don't buy stocks in a downtrend. That is a downtrend. Recognize when you're in a downtrend, uptrend, etc. AMD pulling back. Avgo pulling back. Where's your NVIDIA? Probably pulling back. Okay, so you had SOXL call buyers when, Jay? That was a couple of days ago?
Yesterday, yeah. Yesterday.
Okay. So
if they're still in them, they were weeklies.
Right.
You
know? That looks like they were playing to see what happened with Broadcom, huh?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, really quiet off the open. Just some rolling PARA. The only thing I saw a little action in.
No, they're still keeping the averages penned in. Here comes your Tesla. Any buyers on Tesla yet? Not yet.
That's PDD. It's bullshit.
Look at the banks.
It's strong?
They're still strong.
Yeah, they look good.
Semiconductors. SMH is up. NVIDIA back to green. AMD pushing back up again. Broadcom flat. Here's your SMCI. That might be my setup. Let's see. I'm a little late to that.
Amazon looks like they're pushing out December positions to March in Amazon.
They're still expensive. Oh, no, today.
What name is SMCI? Yeah, a little light volume there. Weeklies, it looks like here.
So for IPO markets, reportedly the information indicating that China and U.S. disagreements could delay a potential Shine IPO.
Avgo got Broadcom got an upgrade today. I didn't see that. Look at these downgrades. These analysts are such fucking clowns.
Why? What
You don't. They're downgrading a lot of stuff. When you see downgrades on stocks that you know that they want, like they're downgrading. They're downgrading Qualcomm. I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like that. Clearly you don't understand the long-term vision of that business and where they're currently at. They downgraded Lam Research. You just like KBH. Like you guys are such idiots. They're not idiots. They're flushing people out so they can get their hands on stock that they want.
Yeah. VIX, some selling.
Adobe catching an upgrade.
The fucking volatility.
Right. Like who upgrades a stock at their highs?
These clowns do.
Nice bounce on NVIDIA. Very nice bounce. Fuck, I wanted to stop running my mouth and trade. Look at this Boeing still going. Is Costco still in good shape? What happened to Downward Dog, Lulu? Sheesh.
At the Michigan sentiment reading, December preliminary expected at 62.0. The previous in the platform.
When does that come out? 15 minutes?
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
All right. Pencils down for me until then. I mean, it seems to me like there's always some kind of a little bit of a move off of that info. I don't have an opinion one way or another other than you can see that number trigger some algos.
TSM caught a little bull flow yesterday, pre-Avgo. You got a little more there. Taiwan semi.
CVNA going?
Looks like
Why are you saying wow? If CVNA was at $40, I'd say, okay, wow. Here, it's just at a spot where it's at resistance. Look at the chart. It wants to go. Now that TSM, if it can get through this area, doesn't look half bad. It's all just little piker size shit, except for that Amazon. Those are what, March 150s? This Amazon is wearing people out at this 148 level. Keeps trying to hand you money if you're a writer. If you've got that long-term position, just keep writing. Zach's got Upstart. That looks good for continuation. Right at an area of resistance.
We're about 15 minutes into the trading session. We've seen the reversal in equities off the low post jobs report continue. The Dow up 27, the S&P up 2. S&P futures at 45.93. The high this morning at 45.93.50.
Toast doesn't look
Prime
bad.
yields remain higher, but off the post jobs report high, we were north of 4.25%, and the 10-year currently 4.21%. European equity markets adding the gains led by the CAC.
Europe is on fire.
The DAX is up 0.75%.
GJT, this Asana, this guy's been freaking throwing his equity down the hallway for years, right? This guy, how bloated up is this the CEO on this? He's got a massive position on, like, here. Technically not the worst place, but if it doesn't work here, watch out. Yeah, that's why I say analysts are freaking, you just don't listen to them. If they work for anybody other than you or on your behalf, you cannot trust what they say.
CHPT, fucking rolling. Citigroup, some rolling there as well.
Silver's nice. You're going to keep writing the Amazon. Citibank coming in.
No, they're rolling, yeah. Citibank
they're
every
rolling
day
now.
has been littered, tattooed.
They're rolling at the right spot.
Every day that Citibank.
Acting Labour Secretary Julie Su says overall job growth has been faster than expected.
I have an alert set. I do. So those of you long-term on Costco, you should have rolled yesterday, and it was a decent place. Remember, when you're at those areas, when you roll at those areas, it's a great opportunity to write. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, it pulls back, and on the 10th time that it doesn't and it keeps going, you just convert your short-term right, and you catch a double dip to the long side.
And Su says strong job growth has been across numerous industries.
All right, where are we at on some of the GEX?
A little repeat activity in Freeport, FCX.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Oh, I get it now. Delayed. That's quicker than usual.
It took a
Sometimes
while.
I never get it.
So NVIDIA has a call wall at 470. So if you rode that, the GEX tool is telling you, hey, man, you did great. Consider rolling to a lotto. What are we looking at on the SPX here? Yeah, call wall is at 4,600. And it's taken its sweet ass time. I think you need this number to come out in the next 10 minutes to get some more clarity as to where we're going to potentially head for the rest of the day. Or we're just going to be stuck inside the range. Apple call wall at 195.
Just looking at some analyst notes after
Microsoft call wall at 372.5.
after a hotter than expected US
Not a whole lot, just trade ranges.
Speculation that bets on Federal Reserve rate cuts next year may have gone too far.
The Qs went through its call wall. The call wall did not adjust. Call wall's at 390.
Less anxious about a recession, at least for now.
Where are we at on
It
Tesla?
also means the Fed might have to hold rates higher for longer. That also
245 on Tesla.
traders who at one point were betting the central bank would be able to pivot as early as March. Swap contracts now show a 40% probability of that happening from over 50% prior to the report.
Silvers, where are you at on this SPX? You're kind of at that spot where we see a little resistance, or hey, are they just going to just give us a pop here into the number and then pull the rug?
President Biden saying his top economic priority is lowering costs.
Boeing looks like deep in the money, repeat buying there.
Sheesh.
Biden says his top economic priority.
Free money, get your free Boeing money. That little short yesterday paid,
10 a.m. Eastern time,
but they just came right back in and sucked that up.
on the price.
They've got
Yeah,
all of
amazing.
that supply on that headline, all of it.
1 year inflation prelim forecast core spot 3%.
No dips anymore in Boeing.
5-year inflation.
That was your
Basically, the complete opposite of the move from August till October. Just the complete opposite.
Yeah.
68.5 on the price.
All right, your CVNA right up to that little area of resistance, pushed through, and now you're battling this area where it has not been able to clear this 40.27 all the way up to 42.19. This is going to be, if they can get after this, it'll be nice. Silvers is just scalping. So those are those numbers we're looking for in 9 minutes, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hood, more buying.
Fuck those guys. Their motto should be steal from our customers and enrich ourselves.
Oh, I think it's off the Bitcoin frenzy. It's moving. IYR. Some puts and calls there, looks like.
Let's look at some of the fat stocks. Lily's still consolidating. I mean, it is just, I like this for upside. However, look at how you're just so far away price-wise from the 200 and the 50-day, and that happens to be in the middle of a gap. I'm not saying it's coming back there. I'm saying that this consolidation is, I don't know how long that's going to last. That could last a while. I do like it to push higher, though, at some point. How is NVO, like NVO? Boom, 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 boom. Maybe this is a spot for NVO. Oversold RSI, CCI, MACD, potential. This TTD has done shit. At an area of support, however. Jay, are you still in Heinz?
Heinz. What's Heinz?
Hi, with the fucking ketchup maker. Who the fuck, Kraft Heinz? Weren't you in that yesterday?
No.
Who were you in yesterday?
Kraft Heinz. Hertz? No. Hertz.
Same category of shit.
Yeah.
Cars and
But
ketchup.
if it catches a little action, I'll definitely go in it again.
Qualcomm catching some put buyers, small size for today, 133s, yawn. GJT, what's WBA? Is that Walgreens?
Yeah, Walgreens. I was in that yesterday as well. That was a nice winner for me yesterday, Walgreens. Heinz didn't do anything.
Walgreen boots, this thing, like, it comes up every year where they trade this thing and
It's been awful.
they make some money on it and then they step out of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
is this an actual retail store?
Walgreens. You never heard of Walgreens? You heard of Walgreens, no?
Dude, this is Walgreens boots, not
It's the same shit.
what you're telling me. Walgreens drugstore and Walgreens boots are the same freaking thing?
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
think isn't Boots an acquisition they made or some shit? Walgreens is like CVS.
Yeah, but I thought one is a boot maker, like literally a boot maker. GJT, that's why I don't trade these things.
What do you mean, like shoes boots?
Yes.
No.
Just like cars and ketchup, boots and drugs. Okay, makes sense. Same basket of shit. Same basket of shit.
Walgreens, you know.
Okay, speaking of shit, DPZ, shit pizza. If you like Domino's pizza, my question for you is, when you eat it, are you drunk? Or have you just never been outside of Indiana for a pizza? I should say the Midwest, not Indiana. I don't want to just single out Indiana. Let's single out the Midwest. If you've never traveled outside of the Midwest and your version of good pizza is Domino's, we gotta get you out of the house. We gotta get you out of the house.
Yeah, I think that's like the McDonald's of pizza. It's kind of on that level. You know what I mean? It's fast food pizza. You got the home builders strong again this morning.
Yeah, because they downgraded them.
Yeah, well, they keep downgrading them. They keep going higher.
So if you're in this CVNA and you're in options, consider rolling, because you're right at an area where they like to pull the rug.
They want to comment on the earlier report about a potential collaboration with Volkswagen for small EVs.
I don't care about that.
A little more Freeport adding. Could be some rolling involved there too, Freeport.
Mm-hmm. I thought we would see some more out of semis. Nothing happening really.
We'll see post 10 o'clock. Things going
Yep.
completely different.
Yes, I agree. Where the hell is Rivian at? Meh. Some coin bulls. They've done a nice job on coin. Chris caught a nice short in that the other day. He said he covered, which is wise. Why? Because the stock is in an uptrend. You don't buy stocks in a downtrend. You don't short stocks in an uptrend. You can short them to an area, but if you continue to fight the trend, you're going to get smacked a la Boeing. Pulled back right to the 8 and the 5 off of a headline, and they bought it. Kind of still doing the same thing on stocks that are in uptrends. The thing about the CVNA is have they finally, like, this is nice short term and long term, technically. Have they finally broken this? Maybe. It'd be awesome if they did. Let's mark that.
To the top there on the University of Michigan sentiment data, December preliminary expected at 62.0, prime was 61.3. Expectations expected at 57. Current conditions seen 68.5. 1-year inflation outlook expected to drop 0.2 to 4.3%. 5-year inflation outlook expected to drop 0.1 to 3.1%.
All right, where's your programs? Nothing impressive as of yet. "15 seconds.
University of Michigan sentiment data in just a few seconds.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
69.4,
Whoa, there's your algo.
62 expectation. 1-year inflation outlook dropping to 3.1% versus 4.3% expected. Big drop in 1-year inflation outlook. 5-year inflation outlook dropped to 2.8% versus 3.1% expectation. Sentiment at 69.4, better than the 62 expectation. Expectations index 66.4, above the 57 expectation. Current conditions at 74, above the 68.5 expectation. And big drops in the 1-year and 5-year inflation outlook.
Wow.
Michigan sentiment.
And we have seen U.S. equity futures move out to new session highs, pushing back towards 4,600 in the S&P futures after that drop in inflation expectations.
Big drops
in
too.
University of Michigan data.
So big drops in the inflation expectations. With a 1 year 3.1%, they were looking for 4, over 4, and the 5 year 2.8 instead of over 3.
All right, well, at least that's out now. You get a nice little spike here on that CVNA. Again, same thing. If you're in the options, consider rolling to a more lotto strike. See if you get continued love out of that.
S&P 500 currently trading.
Let's see. We'll do a little walk around the club. I'm sure I've offended somebody in the Midwest. You can't go through a day without offending somebody. Your life is meaningless, right, Jay? Oh yeah, here we go. Somebody's upset that I lumped the Midwest. Of course, Chicago has good pizza. Of course it does. I'm talking about like if you're out in the middle of, a spot rural where you just don't get out, right? And the best thing that you have pizza wise is like a Domino's. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, hey, we got to get you out of that rural area so you can try something else. Chicago would be one of those places that I would say, yeah, go get you some pizza. And Detroit guy, don't come at me with your freaking Detroit style pizza from Greektown. That stuff's not good. I don't. We'll put that in the same basket with your all your other Detroit Red Wings, Detroit Lions. We're not doing that.
Carnival, you got repeat activity there. Leaves, they could be well. These names have been tattooed, so
Yes,
there's
sir.
likely role involved in most of these names today, especially with December OPEX coming up here.
Hey, Silvers, what do you think on the upper expected move here on SPX?
PayPal Jan 60s in a suite.
You playing it or not? 46 hundo is your number on the SPX. Sahil, good catch.
Oops, what did I do?
Let's take a look at that. Maybe some lottos on NVIDIA might not be a bad idea if you're not already in. You guys, we're stirring you guys up. You guys are easy.
We have posted the University of Michigan Sentiment December prelim report on the feed.
Prelim.
According to a statement, the U.S. Department of Energy issued solicitation for up to 3 million barrels of oil for the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in March 2024.
You got some cheap action in Kohl's December monthly KSS.
Energy is saying that this solicitation for up to 3 million barrels of oil for the SPR in March of 2024. Department confirming U.S. issuing new human rights-related sanctions targeting individuals in multiple countries, including China and Iran.
Same day, Expo U.
I've got a tiny amount of NVIDIA here, seeing how much more of a push we'll get out of this. This is a spot where I would look for it to honestly pull back, but we'll see. Maybe a little outsized move here. It's already made a nice move today. I wanted to be in that earlier. Keep in mind, what we trade on short term doesn't represent what we trade long term. You have no idea what my total big picture looks like. My short term trading has not been on point as of the last several weeks. Shit happens. I'm just going to book that. That little tiny pop. Big picture wise, we are crushing in Amazon and we are crushing in Costco.
Repeat activity coming into firm. AFRM could be rolling.
Good for you guys who've been in that. Yeah, see, here's that CVN8 just struggled in that spot, right? The NVIDIA maybe wants to keep going. They're still coming after your the nuclear play, Jay.
Yeah. Been going on a long time now.
Look at this thing's gonna push.
NIO, China Industry Minister adding 5 companies to approved car manufacturers list, including NIO and BMW-backed Spotlight.
Here you're at on SPX call wall 4600. So keep an eye on this. NVIDIA at the call wall at 475. So some areas to keep an eye on and see if we get a little bit of a pull. So if you're just entering trades up here, be careful. So everything got a nice little pop there. And the question is, since we're at these call walls, do we keep pushing or are we going to cool off a little bit? Let's see. Intel bears. That's interesting.
Yeah, no real theme out of the flow. Just, again, mostly bullish. Not much put buying that I see. And a lot of repeat names. Looks like a good amount of rolling involved. Meta, December monthlies.
Lots of good dip buys for those of you who took them this morning. I don't like doing that short term in front of data. Semiconductor
I'm adding
index.
in that Paramount again, P-A-R-A.
Yeah, your NVIDIA is still running.
What are the yields doing? They're up a little, flattish, up a little. All right, a little repeat bull flow in that GM. Hood, AMD. I mean, this hood is just unbelievable, the amount of action in this thing.
Somebody calling out JMIA, Jumia. Technicals look good on it. It's just this poor thing has really struggled. They try to pump this thing up as the Amazon of Africa, right? South Africa, the continent.
What stock is that?
Jumia Technologies, JMIA.
Oh, Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, Aunt Jemima.
Yeah. That was a fun stock back in the day.
Paramount Global. You called that out this morning, right up to the 50-day moving average and hitting its head.
Which a PARA, yeah. You got some squeeze players there off the bell.
Yeah, John Smith, that is a scenario. You're at the call wall on SPX. SPY getting close to its expected move. You look left, there's an area of resistance. So potentially that's a possibility to see a pullback, or does it break through and then all of a sudden that becomes an area of support? That's a possibility also. Luciano, you miss Lucci. Where's he at? Listen, why don't you come join the Steam Room? So
what is that? Luciano? Is that a mini Lucci over there?
Yeah, I don't know, but my point is, if you miss him so much, why don't you join the Steam Room so you can wrap your arms around him and give him a big clingy hug every day?
Oh, with a handle like Luciano, might be looking for more than a hug.
Oh, just like everybody, Lucci takes a little time off. He's got shit to do. He doesn't like a trade. He might not be in a trade, et cetera, et cetera.
He's waiting for his accounts. He told everybody 3 times this week, over and over again, what he's doing. He's got to move accounts. He explained
People-
exactly what he's doing, but they keep asking the same question.
don't know. People don't know. This NVIDIA is still running. Boy, did I leave a little bit of money on the table. That's what I mean. My short-term trading has not been good. My long-term trading has been very good. My swing trading has been just okay. But for sure, my short-term trading has suffered. It's suffered ever since I got stuck that one day. And I was rolling, and then I got stuck that one Fed day. And then I ran into a bunch of personal shit that took me out of trading on key days. And it just goes to show, like, you know, you have your strengths and weaknesses. And when you're in a spot where one phase or aspect of your trading isn't working, you look to others until you can get that other phase that's suffering back on track. That's pretty normal. That's pretty normal. So to have a small sample size and say somebody's good or bad at something, you gotta have a much bigger, broader picture. Not everybody's gonna come in and freaking mow it down on a short-term basis every single day. That's how you wind up on Guru Leaks, right?
Just taking a look at the fear and greed index.
Where's that from? We ever seen that nowhere?
So fear and greed index.
67.
72 out of 100, also equally greed.
And my long-term picture has never looked better. So I don't give a fuck about the short-term picture other than to say, damn, I wish I stayed in this NVIDIA. In the small account challenge, which will keep rolling into next year, has been an uphill climb for sure. We got the account as high. We started at 20. We got it as high as 50. Currently having a very difficult time punching it through 30. Very difficult time.
Kathy's Path Fed 25s.
Path.
Next year. Never haven't seen that name.
My P&L is plus 246 today.
Here are the active lines in Path.
Not much. We caught a little bit of the NVIDIA.
You gotta check open interest if you have an interest in that Path. Tough to tell if they're rolling or not. Could be though.
When you see something up this much, that's just normally what I
Yeah, especially when
normally
it's
my
had flow
conclusion,
already.
right? You kind of got to just put yourself in a situation where you look at it and say, well, if I've participated, great. And you, like you just said, if you're rolling, you take a little bit of profit and shoot for a lotto.
Power, that's small. Disney, little small action here. These are same day expo Disney. At the money, 93 calls.
I mean, on a technical basis, Disney doesn't look bad. The stock has just not been a good performer over time. If you look at it big picture, right? What do you got? High, lower high, lower high, lower high, trying to break out. Maybe this is a spot. I just don't, it's not my favorite.
Another repeat name with a ton of buying, VRT, underbelly name Victor Robert Tom. You got a few more December sweeps coming in, VRT.
Oh, they've done a really nice job on this thing too. But again, if you're a short-term trader, good luck. This is something you got to sit in. CVNA kind of at the spot we have been talking about. We got about 9 minutes left. If you guys are interested in joining us, we do offer a 14-day trial for the whopping cost of $7.99. You can come in and watch us after we sign off with you guys and participate in the Steam Room and see if it's for you. And I am actually, Jay, gonna sign off just a few minutes early here to go take care of the doggos because
The doggos are more important.
doggos are more important.
Don't be ashamed to admit it.
The dogs are more important.
They sure
All right,
are.
so we got a little scrape here for $246. We'll see if we can do some more good work later in the afternoon. And I will see you, Jay, in a few minutes, and the rest
All
of
right.
you out there have a great weekend, and we'll be back in the Steam Room in just a little bit. Peace.
You got Google weeklies. Looks like just no stock picking out there, obviously. It just looks like some momentum riding off the internals, the dollar, volatility, all just straight down, especially off the consumer Michigan sentiment numbers. So keep an eye on a bounce in the dollar for a possible breather in equities, indexes. Credit spreads, same thing, loosening up again. Unbelievable. Once this excitement chase dies down, maybe we'll start to see some stock picking throughout the day. Fucking Lennar keeps going.
S&P 500 energy sector up 1%, tracking higher oil prices.
Yeah, let's see the. Hold on. That's wait, Google's down today? I didn't even. Google, oh yeah, Google's down. It looks like I didn't even notice that. I didn't think anything was down right now.
Equities, WTI up 2.9% or $2.71.33.
Oil prices extend gains. WTI crude futures rise by $2 to a session high of $71.37 a barrel.
Little bounce in crude. A chewy. Let's see, Jan. Looks like a little nibbling and chewy. Jan calls, nibbling. A firm. What's that today? Today. The hell out of here with this fucking stock already. Looks like action's starting to quiet down a little bit now. The excitement starting to settle in. I think sentiment was the only thing we got to keep an eye on is the anti-VIX. If this stretches from here, it looks like VIX trying to find a low already. You get a little nibbling PLTR. Did that bounce? I had to bounce there, right? Yeah, a little bounce. We haven't really seen any notable buying coming yet into that dip. PLTR like the first dip. EBIX. I think this is a heavily shorted name. March 5s. Let's see this thing. EBIX. What a travesty this is. Well, let me put my charts up here now. Wow, we're nowhere near a tick upside extreme, huh?
So for Live Nation, the shares have rolled over a little bit here. Thinly traded name. Variety is reporting that senators have now introduced a fans first bill intended to reform live event ticketing. Name of Yankee Victor.
Taking a look at market internals, NYC volume 11% below its 1-month average, advancers lead decliners by 1.8 to 1. Nasdaq volume 6% above its 1-month average, advancers lead decliners by 1.7 to 1. VIX index trading lower by 1% at 1293.